Roxstars, it's Rox coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 1. 15 seasons, you guys. I should be excited that Real Housewives of Atlanta has made it back to our television screens, and in some ways I am, and then in other ways I'm not. I'm sure you guys understand why I'm not. Child, I'm tired of these girls. I am tired of them. I almost feel like this might be my last season, and I know that that's not a smart move because Real Housewives is definitely one of my more watched videos, but I mean, we coming in this season and it's clear that everybody is going to be on the Kandi attack. Either you're going to be with Kandi or you're not. And I'm fine with that if you have a reason to come after Kandi. I'm not saying that Kandi is beyond reproach and that nobody can, face her and nobody can have issues with her. I'm not saying that. Kandi is just like every other housewife on there. Everybody is open to it, but let it be true. Let it be something real. Let it be a problem that you truly have with each other that Kandi has done, instead of just coming after her because she's the favorite housewife. This is such a tired. I blame Marlo because I feel like Marlo started that shit last season. And now Marlo has kind of got her, we already can see that, we already knew Marlo had Sheree and Sanya, but now we've got this Courtney girl, and I'm just like, I'm never for the drama that just is there just because, just to have a moment. It has to be a true, real reason. And it's not, at least not so far. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm just telling you guys already how I'm already feeling, so you guys can kind of figure out my attitude problem in this damn video. This ain't the way to start off, though. This ain't the way to start off. Before we get to the video, you guys, did you guys see that Kim and Croy have filed for divorce? Or I guess Kim filed for divorce from Croy Bierman, okay, after 11 years of marital bliss. I guess we should have saw it coming after they started having financial problems. We've seen a couple of times they almost lost their home, their mansion on the auction block. And it's been saved a couple of times. And then we heard that they had $1 million tax bill. I was like, y'all up there with Beyonce. And, I guess they're trying to work on that. And now we're hearing that they are getting a divorce. I'm never happy to see marriages break up. And I haven't really followed Kim and Croy since they were on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I did assume that they were happy. But shit happens. Hell, it's been 11 years. You do a lot of growing in them years, and sometimes you grow apart. So yeah, she said that it's irreconcilable differences. The relationship is not, she's not able to retrieve. It's irretrievably broken, is what they say. And hey, you win some, you lose some. They have 4 kids though. That's gonna be a hell of a damn child support check. And she's asking for spousal support too. So did he retire from football, or did he just stop playing? Because does he have a retirement pension? Or, because what's the income on that? We already know that the income is quite a bit lower than it was because, they haven't had these problems until recently. So, finances do put a strain on the marriage. So we'll see how it works out. I thought maybe they would last, but, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So yeah, that's what just dropped right before I'm doing this video. Okay. So yeah, just go on, and because y'all gonna be asking me to talk about it on top of the blogs, and I'm not going to, because we already talked about it here. Okay, unless something else comes out. All right. And anyway, that being said, let's get to this review, shall we? All right, you guys, so the show opens. It is going to be Ross's birthday, okay, his 40th birthday. So Bravo does us the favor of kind of giving us the glimpse into the party ahead of time, 6 hours ahead of time, as a matter of fact. We can already see that it's some shenanigans going on there. And before we wind back the clock, we see that Sheree and Martell is at the party, and Kenya and Martell are having a problem, okay, arguing. And you know, Kenya, she gonna say whatever the hell is on her mind. I said, boy, that Martell is gonna have to get used to to these women, honey. Real Housewives of Atlanta women is totally different than Love and Marriage Huntsville women. But you know what, he's sassy enough to go head to head with a woman. So I mean, it's going to be a whole lot with Martell this season. But like I said, let's rewind it back. And we see Martell go and visit Sheree. You know, she's all giggly. And well, first of all, Sheree looks great. That body. Unmatched on any of the Real Housewives. Like that Sheree. Ooh. And apparently she had on her She by Sheree too, you know, looks like it anyway. Anyway, you know, she lets him in and he was just like, hey, and she was just like, hey, you know, she was just like, how was your upscale cover? I said, oh, this is all coinciding with what's going on Love and Marriage Huntsville. In a minute, I'm gonna think that Carlos King and what is it, Shed? Is this Shed? Is that the production company? Whoever this is, I'm gonna feel like they in cahoots in a minute. Anyway, Martell said that it went well, you know, and then he was just like, first of all, I'm gonna have to be doing Martell on Love and Marriage and Real Housewives. I'm gonna be so tired of doing his voice, but he was just like, well, you all dressed. I thought we was gonna work out together. And she was just like, I'm gonna work out again, okay? I'm gonna do 2-a-days. Sheree is all excited about Martell. It's quite the contrast of how Martell portrays their relationship on Love and Marriage, okay? But as far as Sheree is concerned, oh, she is so happy she left the door open to love again, you know. Last year was some bullshit with old boy, and now she done met Martell, and she was just like, you know what, he's a good guy, and you know, they enjoy each other and they have a good time, and you know, they haven't put any labels on it. You know, it's just that's always the word, you know, we not putting labels on it. Bitch, if I'm gonna be just me and you, we together and ain't nobody else, then we putting a label on this bitch, okay? Fucking too old to be just still just kind of dating around and playing, unless that's what you want to do. I mean, if that's what you are there for, then that's fine, okay? But Sheree always acting like she want a man in her life, like permanently. So that's why I say that Martell and Sheree, they ain't on the same page. Anyway, she got a surprise for him, you know, so there's a knock at the door and she tells him, go in the other room, you know, go change. So Martell goes and puts on his Skims, and the woman at the door is the chef that Sheree has hired for the day. You know, the chef comes in right away. She telling them what they about to have, asparagus and bloppity blue, okay? And after Martell gets his outfit on, you know, he comes on back out. Okay, of course, Skims is close fitting and everything, so we see all of the curves and the muscles and everything. I mean, Martell is a good looking man. I'm not, you know, we can all admit that. Okay, ugly on the inside, but very good looking on the eyes. Okay, easy on the eyes. So, you know, he was like, oh, this is the surprise? And she was just like, yeah. And he was just like, I was like, nigga, what you thought the surprise was gonna be? You know, he said, I saw the woman at the door, and I was like, already? Yeah, Sheree is thinking about maybe having a threesome with him. She was gonna do that with her husband, Bob, but Bob actually went and had a threesome with somebody else. Can you picture that? While they're sitting and talking, she reminds him of Ross's party. And he was just like, okay, who's all gonna be there? Well, all the girls are gonna be there, you know, Kandi. He was just like, oh, Kandi. She's the one that called me an opportunist. Yep, that would be the one. Okay. He was like, oh, she must have forgot about her husband. I was just like, oh, so now it's Kandi and Todd. Martell is on that wagon too. Well, what are they? You know, about 3 feet tall. I said, nigga, I know you not fixing your mouth. Okay? Because you done fooled plenty of people, because I thought your ass was tall, and then when I saw you and Googled your height, let's Google Martell's height right now. how tall, because Martell is not tall. And by the way, let me just also clarify that I think that anybody that's under 6 feet tall is short. Okay, I know that people sometimes get a little offended by me teasing people. First of all, I like short people. Mr. ain't tall. Mr. is under 6 feet. Okay, I don't have a problem with short people. I'm just telling you that, to me, in my mind, 6 feet and taller is usually tall. Okay, anything under 6 feet, I'm about looking at you, right in the eye. You're not tall. Anyway, how tall is Martell? So I don't want y'all to be getting mad at me when I be teasing. Oh, you guys, I am shocked to read that Martell is actually 5'11", is what they're saying on the internet streets. He don't look like 5'11" to me. But that's what the internet is saying. Because last time I told y'all about Don, y'all wanted to go and tell me what the internet was saying. Don Lemon is not 6 feet tall. I don't care what you all say. Okay? Don Lemon is close to 5'6", 5'7", maybe. Okay? Not 6 feet. But anyway, so he's all talking about how tall that Kandi and Todd are. And then they flick that Kandi is 5'5" and Todd is 5'7". But whatever. Sheree and Martell have a nice tipsy time. Now let's jump over to Kandi since we're talking about Kandi. We see Kandi sitting and talking to Karma. Okay, shout out to Mama Joyce and Don Juan. This is the old days, the Kandi-coated clique. We ain't seen Carmen, honey. Carmen got the hell up off this show. Y'all was stressing her the fuck out. Okay, Carmen said she got some money to be made over there in the insurance industry. So that's what she is doing. Don Juan tells Karma that Kandi got new friends now, so she don't even pay no attention to Carmen. She was just like, what are you talking about? Don't say that. Carmen is her friend for life. Anyways, they sitting there talking. They start talking about the She by Sheree website. Kandi even offered to help Sheree because the shit was crashing. I've heard nothing else about She by Sheree except for that little blip of time when it was happening. And then after that, we ain't heard nor seen anything from She by Sheree since. So I am willing to bet that that's a wrap on that. Anyway, she said that she tried to help her. It was always crashing. And then Sheree was always telling her that, she has a person already. So, she didn't really want Kandi's help. So whatever. Don says Kandi-coated Nights is coming back. And Kandi was just like, yeah, but I was feeling a little guilty because Ace came and told me that, he was crying that I don't spend as much time with him anymore. He was like, Mommy, you work too much. Yeah, anytime your 6-year-old tell you work too much, then you do work too much. And so anyway, while she's sitting there talking to them, then Kenya and Manetta show up. Don and Carmen, they end up leaving so that Kandi can sit and talk to the girls. Kandi was just like, I'm mad at Manetta because she was with Marlo the other day and didn't take up for me. So they show a little clip where Manetta is talking to Marlo, and Marlo always has an issue with Kandi. And Manetta said that she was feeling bad that Kandi felt like she didn't have her back. She was like, I'm just one of those people that like to get both sides of the story, but she knows me. She knows how I am, so she was feeling a way that Kandi was feeling a way. I was just like, Lord, don't get the old friends on here fighting. Now, apparently, Manetta has introduced Kenya to her bestie, or maybe it's her husband's best friend. He is a restaurant owner by the name of Roy. He looks like he might be a Middle Eastern guy. Don't quote me on that though. But anyway, she says that, Kenya's just like, oh, I'm happy. Like, oh, what, this is good. Like, he makes her feel like a woman again. She's sort of feeling things like, oh my God, so she's fully back out there dating and she seems to be happy. And you guys know how it is. We're going to see for ourselves how this Roy person is. We can't never trust a new man that come into any of these girls' lives. Anyway, Kenya says, Kandi, what else you got going on? Well, just a lot of work stuff. Kandi's been hard at work doing those spoofs. Okay. And Kenya was like, oh, I was kind of disappointed on you and Sheree, And Kandi was just like, oh, the fuck you was so disappointed for? Sheree had a lot to say about her every time she would do an interview somewhere, And so Kandi thought that it would be very funny and definitely petty. Kandi knew she was being petty, but she was just like, yeah, I was going to spoof her because she kept my damn name in her mouth. I'm going to do a you on you. You know, I'm going to be like, what you talking about? What you say? This party that Sanya's having for Ross, you know, the girls are going. And Kenya says that it looks like Sheree is going to be bringing Martell. Manetta was just like, I mean, is she really serious about that? Kenya was like, yeah, I really think that she is serious. Mo was just like, I hope she's not serious about it because, honey, the streets been talking. And Kandi was just like, girl, the streets been talking to you too. Yes, honey, the streets have been talking. Apparently, Martell been dating a whole bunch of women around Atlanta. I rolled my eyes because I was just like, now I realize I get it. You know, everybody, it's got to be some sort of turmoil in order to give us an entertaining show and an entertaining season. And I get that. But it's just sort of like, why y'all care this much? You don't really like Sheree. And Sheree's got this new man. And the man is an asshole. And again, you don't really like Sheree like that. Why do you even care? It's obvious that Kandi and Sheree don't see it for each other, even though I don't understand why, because they never really had any issue. And then when Sheree came back, she was on this I hate Kandi train with Marlo. Or at least she was doing it very sneakily. You know, it wasn't like she was out loud with it. She was just kind of co-signing on Marlo, you know, whatever Marlo had to say. So, you know, I'm just sort of like, oh, God. So it's going to be everybody hates Martell and everybody hates Kandi. Martell ain't even on the fucking show. Okay, I mean, like that. But whatever. We'll see how that play out as time goes on. Kenya tells her that, you know, low key, he tried to holler at her in her DMs. Okay, he slid in her DMs on Instagram. And they was like, what? You know, let me see. That's the first thing you gotta say, nigga. Let me see the proof, you know. So she goes to her. So you know how you can leave a message, but if the person doesn't follow you, or I'm not really sure how it works, but they can't get into your DMs unless you accept them. Okay, so that's where Martell still was. She hadn't accepted. She just, apparently he must have DM'd her and then she never accepted the thing. So when she went back to go and accept it, they were like, hit accept. And so she hit accept, and then whatever he had said, it disappeared. They were like, oh, he deleted the message. Okay, so whatever it was, I mean, Kenya didn't make it seem like he was saying anything all that outlandish or scandalous or anything. But yeah, Kenya had to make it known that he came after her first. So of course they all calling him the thirst trap and but anyway, that's enough about that. You know, what else is going on? When Kenya was talking to Kandi the day before, you know, she could hear Todd fussing in the background, and Kandi was just like, well, you know, Todd has a problem with me because he thinks that he stops to help me anytime I need it, but he don't feel like I stop to help him anytime he needs it. And then she kept telling us that he writing a movie. I was just like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm not gonna shit on Todd's dreams. He might have a honey. He might have the next fucking, you know, he might have the movie. But, child, we didn't know that Todd was out there writing movie scripts and carrying on, you know. So, I mean, come on, Todd. Todd was like, listen, he ain't just arm candy. Todd say he do work around here too. Damn it. He gonna put a movie out. But you guys, it actually sounds like it's a serious problem. You know, as Kandi is talking to him, I start hearing the broke up. I was like, Kandi, now you know how you get. Just breathe, okay? But Kandi was just like, you know, and he always make it like it's my fault. And, you know, they was like, girl, get your tissue. You know, she was just like, it's just, I keep telling him, like, don't make the problem me. Okay? Don't blame Kandi. Kandi busy. She ain't got time to be babysitting this fucking movie script too. Don't make her the problem. So, you know, she didn't get herself all worked up, and Kenya was just like, oh, you know, Kandi, I know how you feel and I understand, but you know, as somebody that's recently in divorce court, I will tell you to please try to find some time for your husband. And then, of course, later on, we see Kandi at home. You know, it's supposed to be family time with the kids. They're going to be making pizzas. And Todd is over there working on his script. I was like, you better do it, boy. And he's over there, you know, she was just like, it is family time. And what are you doing? Okay, he working on his script. Okay, he on the damn people, he on the Zoom with the people, and he doing all this, you know. Maybe if you wasn't so busy, you could be over here helping me too. You know, she was just like, I need you to get off the phone. Okay, I need you to get off. And Todd was just like, okay, my wife is telling me that I got to get off, you know, but just a few more minutes. Okay, when you passionate about your project, come on, Todd, the director. All right, you guys, now Marlo. I know you guys love the Marlo voice, but I've decided to retire it because it just doesn't feel right anymore, you know. I'll try to, you know, every now and then I'll try to throw it in there, but I'm telling you, it don't be right. It don't sound right to me anymore. Anyway, we see Marlo. Marlo says that her sister is out of jail, but she still hasn't reached out to her kids. She really probably could care less. Marlo said those kids are hers, okay? They are hers for the rest of time. They will not be going anywhere. Even, you know, the kids are pretty much almost grown, but, you know, she's going to always be the one. She's always going to be Munty. While she's there with the boys, you know, Miss Sharon, the coach, the life coach, comes on over. Marlo is just like, she's showing me a different way to parent. It's not right, y'all. Marlo says she's never had the example, so, you know, she's just still learning as she goes, okay? Building the plane as it's in the air. So the lady says, you know, Marlo's doing the best that she can. You know, the boys seem to be doing very well as well. And, you know, Marlo was just like, until I put them out and then everybody was mad at me. And Sharon was just like, oh, no. You know, people just didn't know what to think. And, you know, you're still doing a great job. And, you know, she's giving her all the positive affirmations. The boys tell her also that, you know what, they was going through some shit too. They was acting out. So, you know, it wasn't all on you, Munty. Oh, thank you, baby. So anyway, Sharon has given them a mission statement. You know, they've got to come up with a mission statement. And Marlo was just like, oh, we did kind of have one. And so one of them says it's something about, you know, we are family. We love each other. We always going to have each other's back, you know, something along those lines. And Marlo was just like, yeah, but it needs to be better. And Sharon was like, no, that's fine. You know, if that's exactly how you guys feel, then that can be your mission statement. It's going to be a reminder. All right. Yeah, Marlo says that she's trying out this whole gentle parenting thing, okay? This is new to her. She said when she was growing up, you know, Marlo's my age. When we was growing up, it was no such thing as gentle parenting. Okay, it was nigga, do what I say. We not really from that era. So now she is trying this because people have realized that they've turned out some old fucked up ass kids that's my age. So now everybody's trying to do something differently. Now, jumping over to Sanya. Okay, we see Sanya at home. Her family is all still living there. So it's her mom, her dad, her husband, her child, her sister's husband, and they 2 kids. All in one house. Okay? Don't look like anybody's going anywhere either. Sanya's planning this 40th birthday party for Ross. And she says that he's a great husband. He's a great father. He deserves all of this. She's gonna give him this big party, and it's going to be, you know, all the talk, and, you know, she's gonna prove to the girls that she can give a great party. She's hired on her brother-in-law as her assistant, which is interesting. She said that she's employed all of her family over time, so she's always made sure that she's taking care of them. I mean, and they also help her as well. Okay, so it is a family affair here. Brother-in-law seems to feel like Sanya is a bit extra, okay, and that she be having him do all kind of stuff. I was just like, well, that's what the job is. That's why you called the assistant, okay. Now the sister has a bone to pick with Sanya because she says that Sanya doesn't respect boundaries, okay. Yeah, you know, the sister's out there, you know, cooking because Sanya don't cook. And so, you know, she got the kids and she's about to give them dinner at 6:29. You know, dinner is served at 6:30, and Sanya will come downstairs and be like, hey, y'all want to go outside? She was like, you in a damn bubble and you don't even realize it. Like, no, the kids can't go outside right now. They're about to eat. And I'm thinking to myself, like, girl, that's your gripe with your sister? Is the sister paying half the rent around there? I'm thinking to myself, like, everybody that live under that house, if y'all ain't got nothing on it, then you know what, you ain't got room to complain. The rent is high out there. So she is doing y'all a favor by letting y'all be in this house and help her. Like, child, I came with the sister. Now, later on, Sanya goes over to Sheree's house. I guess they are going to work out together. She says she wants the Sheree booty. Like I said, Sheree looks great. Okay, Sanya has absolutely no hips and no booty, so it's gonna be, you're gonna need some work to get that done, child. So, you know, when Sanya comes over and they go downstairs to Sheree's gym and they're going to start working out, and Sanya's just about to start opening up to her about her sister and the little fight that they had, and then there's a knock at the door. Okay, so Sheree was like, oh, hold that thought, I'll be right back. So Sheree runs up the stairs, you know, and child, here comes Courtney. Courtney is the new housewife, okay? And it's a whole bunch of, you know, anytime somebody comes in like that, it's gonna be some shit with them, you know, because I'm just like, what we so excited for just to see your friend that just coming over to the house? Sheree seems to love new girl Courtney. Says that, you know what, she is no nonsense. She's a Capricorn. I said, okay, she a Capricorn, and you know, maybe we gonna be here. And you know, Sanya likes Courtney too. Says, you know, she's got on Daisy Dukes and thigh-high boots and still can, you know, drop it like it's hot. Like, this is her kind of girl. So she comes in, and I guess Sanya's story got to be put on hold, you know, because now it's all about Courtney. You know, Courtney, what do you do? Courtney is a marketing, she's a marketing consultant, and she also has her own jewelry line. You know, she has some of her jewelry on right now. Now, Sanya's giving this party for Ross. You know, Sheree was like, this is the girl I was telling you who's giving the party for her husband. Oh, okay. Courtney's going to be there. Oh, okay, good. You know what, Courtney, who do you know? And Courtney was just like, well, you know, she did hang out with Marlo. And Sanya was like, okay, Marlo definitely are going to be there. You know, she was just like, and you know, Kandi. She don't really know Kandi, you know, but she says that Kandi was calling around. I was just like, here we go. Yeah, Kandi was calling around trying to check up on Courtney. That don't even make no damn sense. Why the fuck would Kandi care about Courtney coming on this show? Courtney is one of them self-important people, the ones that think that they just got it going on so tough that everybody can't help but talk about them. I was just like, I'd surely hate to think this way about a fellow Capricorn, but I feel like this is where we going with this. Girl, Kandi don't care nothing about you. Let's move on to something else. Yeah, Drew's gonna be there, even though Sanya still don't really see it for Drew. She was just like, you know, I sent the invitation, and Ralph is actually the one that RSVP'd for it. So anyway, you know, they're just talking about the party. Courtney points out that Sheree is glowing. Is this because of Martell? She was just like, yeah, you know, he really is a good guy. You know, and we're just really having a good time with each other. We're enjoying, you know, ourselves with each other. We're not putting any labels on it or anything. Okay, girl, we already know. It's definitely no label. Courtney was just like, I've been trying to tell you that this is your season. And she was just like, I know. You're right. You really have been saying that. Okay, and I receive it. Now, on the day of the party, you know, Sanya goes to the venue, and Sanya says, you know what, contrary to what people think, you know, that little city party that she gave at the house, they ain't got shit on what this fixing to be. She says she had set a $40,000 budget because he's turning 40, but it turns out she spent about $100,000, okay, whatever it takes. We see everybody getting ready, Kandi and Todd picking out their clothes, okay, he was just like, no 70s pimp hat, and she was just like, not unless you want Marlo to come to you for a job. Then we see Marlo figuring out her outfit. She said that this is the first time that she's seen Kandi in a while, and apparently there was a Marlo spoof. Now, I don't remember the Marlo spoof. Either I missed it or they did one for the show but never put it out. Like, I don't know, but I didn't remember this spoof. But, you know, Marlo was talking about the fact that Kandi had her hairline all the way down. Did you guys see that spoof? I don't know how I missed that one. Anyway, Marlo said that she's cool, okay? And she gonna, you know, she gonna be cool at this party. Kenya says that she has low expectations for this party because Sanya's last party was some bullshit. She gonna set the bar real low because if she got some more of them dry ass meat patties that she had last time, then, you know, she knows something. Now, the party is Harlem Nights. Okay, so, you know, back in the 30s, Cotton Club era, that's the whole look that everybody is going to have. You know, Sanya had made stress to everybody, don't go out and buy a new outfit, just wear what you have at the house, just figure out something and be creative. So, you know, everybody's got on their Harlem Nights garb and they start coming. When Kenya gets there, she actually is impressed. She's like, oh, this is really nice. Like, this is something totally different than what she expected. Even Kandi was just like, I can tell that she spent a lot of money on this one. Okay, it ain't on the Kandi Burress level, but this is really nice. Now, Kenya has a friend there with her named Akila. All right, I guess maybe she was trying to test her out for the show, but we ain't heard much about Akila, so I guess that's, you know, where that ended up. Ralph is there with no Drew. You know, they were like, where's Drew? And he said, oh, she had a family emergency. As if he wasn't in the family with her. But now it makes sense because we know that them two were going through a divorce. So maybe shit was fucked up even back then. You know, he was just like, yeah, you know, she wasn't feeling good, or somebody in her family wasn't feeling good. I think her dad is sick. And, you know, so she just got a lot going on. And Kenya was just like, okay, but you guys are a couple. And if there's a family emergency, shouldn't you be there with the family? Ralph said he got to be there to celebrate his boy's 40th birthday. Okay? It's called priorities. Marlo, the legend, as she calls herself, gets there. And, you know, she's just like, where's the birthday boy? But Marlo said, you know, she's not friends with some of the ladies, so she gonna keep quiet. She ain't even got to raise no hell today because we got Courtney. Somebody done put the battery in Courtney's fucking back. Well, Marlo did, actually. So we got Courtney, and then shortly after Courtney gets there, then Sheree and Martell gets there. And, you know, she says that her and Martell are definitely a couple. They come in, they look good together. Okay, they're a good-looking couple. You know, when Kenya sees her, she says, there's the woman of the hour. And Kandi was just like, she is not the woman of the hour. Okay, get that shit straight. This Ross party. And speaking of Ross, Sanya and Ross come out, you know, and she's really loving it. You can tell she spent good money on here, honey. We got fireworks, and we got ladies on the ceiling dancing and spinning, and I mean, we got a whole bunch going on here. So yeah, she spent a pretty coin. So, you know, they get up there, and Sanya says how much she loves Ross, perfect husband and his father, and, you know, he deserves all this, and he thanks everybody for coming, and let's party. All right. So, you know, Sanya, she finally makes it over to her group of girls, and, you know, they already starting up with the shit. You know, when they see Sheree, they just Sheree, they was just like, so why is he the one that's on your arm? Is that your arm, Kandi? Just like, no, that's her man. You know, Kandi was just like, last season it was community service. This season is community property. Okay, community peen. Okay, according to these Atlanta streets. And did you guys see the back and forth that Kandi and Sheree had on Instagram? I mean, Twitter, I think. Twitter or Instagram, you know, talking about Kandi is community puss. It's about to be ugly this season. But at the party, you know, Sheree and Kandi, they greet each other. And Sheree says, as long as Kandi keep it on cute, they gonna be good today. So Kenya asked her, is this official? And Martell was just like, oh, well, yeah, we've been dating and all that kind of good stuff. Country bumpkin. Sheree was just like, I don't know why Kenya's so worried about what me and Martell doing, honey. She need to be worried about her house over there and figure out what's going on in there. Maybe get her some baseboards. I was like, Kenya was just like, Sheree needs to be on the show called Watch Me Date Dumb Dudes. Child, they gonna have a field day. They gonna have a field fucking day with Martell. Now, Marlo is talking to Courtney, and I am so confused on what it is that Courtney has a problem with. You know, she seems to believe that Kandi has been after, you know, following her, but been checking up on her, like actually calling around and being like, now what you know about this Courtney character? I just can't see Kandi doing something like that. Now, maybe Kandi might have been in a conversation with somebody and said, like, you know, do you know Courtney? She's going to be on the show or something like that. But somehow it then got back to Courtney that Kandi is, you know, calling around and trying to, girl, nobody give a fuck about you. We don't even know who you are. So she's trying to explain all this to Marlo, and Marlo, even though Marlo says that she was going to keep a low profile, you know, her ass does tell Courtney, oh, you're going to have to confront her about that. Okay, so Marlo did put the battery in Courtney's back. And honey, this is a fresh, new out the pack battery. She was on one. I was just like, girl, you are doing. And then that voice, I was like, how you a Capricorn with an annoying voice? You know, I was just like, I don't know no Capricorn that has an annoying voice. Now again, Kandi and Kenya are too worried about Martell. Like it don't even matter this much, you know, but I think they just love the fact that they can just like ride him, that's what they're doing. And he obviously gives them the reaction that they want. So I think that's why. But I'm also thinking to myself, like, why why Kenya and Kandi even care? So anyway, they tell Sheree, like, let me talk to you for a second away from Martell, you know, because they got some shit on him. So is this serious? And Sheree was like, I mean, as serious as it's gonna be right now, you know. And they were like, because they know that Martell been kind of kicking it with some women around Atlanta. So if you're not serious about this, that's one thing. But that if you are serious, I was just like, oh God. If I was Sheree, I would be on the defensive too. Like, please leave me alone. Like, let me be with my man. If he cheating and shit, I'm gonna find out eventually. I'll work it out whichever way I do. Like, I don't need y'all all up in my ear every 15 seconds. So that silliness is going on over there. But let me tell you what the shit was funny. So Courtney finally makes her way over to Kandi. And Courtney fixed her mouth to ask Kandi, like, why was she basically going around calling people, you know, to find out about her. And Kandi was just like, well, I don't really know you. Kandi was just like, I know this girl named Dina who's in the music industry. And apparently there was a picture of Dina and Courtney. And Kandi was just like, I knew who Dina was. I didn't know who you were. Like, I wasn't asking about you. I don't know who you are. Okay? It's clear that Courtney is creating this argument just for creating an argument's sake. Because Kandi is just sort of like, what's going on? But, you know, Courtney is kind of like bucking at her. Like, okay? And she kind of like standing over Kandi. You know, so Kandi is just like, what's with all the rah-rah? Like, why you keep on bucking at me like that? You know, but she wasn't calling it buck. What was the word that she was calling it? Burping. Belching. That's what she was calling. You belching up at me like that. I was just like, because at first I thought the girl was like burping in her face. But, you know, she's talking about like when somebody buck at somebody. And she was just like, no, she wasn't trying to buck at her. You know, she was just telling her what had happened. Okay, so then Marlo is trying to talk to Courtney, and Kandi was just like, okay, but you know, you bringing this energy, like, what's going on? What's with the energy? And she was just like, well, there's no energy. And Kandi was just like, okay, back. Okay. And then she was just like, I'm just trying to say, you know, she's still doing all of this over Kandi. Kandi was just like, wait, well, hold the fuck on now. Bitch, I know you not bucking at me like this. Okay. And then the girl starts to walk away, and Kandi was just like, what? Bitch, I'm fixing to headbutt this bitch. That Kandi got so mad so fast. I'm telling you. That shit was so fucking funny. When she said she was going to headbutt her, because in my mind, I could just see Kandi with her little self, you know, jumping up to headbutt Courtney. She really was mad. Because even on social media, she was talking about how, you know, how it feels. I think this is going to be on her next Kandi, or the next speak on it, but she was saying how, you know, when you short and people be over you and then they be bucking, that kind of shit gets your juices flowing. You be ready to fight. Kandi was just like, what the fuck? Wait a minute. Like, what happened here? Like, are you really about to beat her ass? I was like, headbutt her. Child, I surely would have paid some money to see that. So that's going on over there. Moneta is trying to tell Sheree about Martell and all that. Sheree was just like, this child ain't said 3 words to me last season. Now all of a sudden she got all this to say about Martell. Then Kenya come and tell her, well, you know what? He also slid in her DMs. First thing Sheree says, let me see it. Okay? And we don't pull out the DM, I don't think, because there's so much commotion going on. Kenya told her that she didn't want her to hear from anybody else but her, so that's why she's telling her now, okay, well, let's see it. Better yet, let me just call Martell over, because he here, you know, so let me just call him over here so we can get this squashed. And then the shit just goes very, very left. I'm not sure if this is going to be considered part of this episode or next episode, but of course we see that Kenya and Martell get into it. At some point, Kenya tells him that, you know what, once a cheater, always a cheater. You know, he gonna fuck Sheree over just like he did everybody else, you know, Mill. So it's all of that going on. You know, Sheree is upset because she said that they're trying to spin a narrative, which I think is true. They are spinning a narrative on Martell. I mean, you ain't got to do too much work to do it, considering his reputation. You know, it's kind of fucked up. Even though we all know how Martell is, it's just sort of like, let Sheree and this man figure out what they gonna do, and then maybe if she sees that he ain't, you know, he full of shit, let her figure that out on her own, you know. But for everybody to be, of course she's gonna be on the defensive. She's feeling attacked. They're talking about her man, but Sheree gives them that because Sheree and Kandi, all this shit with Kandi, even though Sheree and Kenya don't have no problem, you know, it's always been shaky with the two of them. So that shit can go left at any time, you know. And of course, Kenya is Kandi's friend. So Kenya is always going to back Kandi. That's an alliance that's going to stick. Okay, Kenya's smart. She knows where she needs to be. Okay, this shit with Marlo, Sheree, Sanya, and maybe this Courtney girl, I'm just sort of like, oh God. See how this season goes. Season 15, y'all ready? All right, you guys, let me get on off of here. Make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.